640, more stimulating talk radio, the John and Ken Show. John Cobell and Ken Shampoo. We had Mitt Romney on earlier in the show. Most of you listening now probably missed it. We're going to replay it after the 6:30 news. Mitt Romney, after the 6:30 news, if you're voting on Tuesday in the Republican primary, it's 15 minutes that you must listen to. I don't think he's gotten enough play here in California. He's not that far behind in the latest Rasmussen poll of McCain, just 2 points. And you listen to him, and he's clearly different than McCain on a number of high-priority issues. And if you care about those issues, I don't know how you walk away from that interview not voting for Romney. I wouldn't understand it. I think if you listen to that, you see there's a clear alternative to McCain. So we're going to play it for you after 6:30. Get people you know who are going to vote, who are interested or are jazzed about the election, to listen after 6:30, and then talk about it afterwards. See, this is, we're in the final few days here, so this all matters now. Governor Romney.
John and Ken, how are you guys doing?
Welcome to the show. I'm glad you had some time to come on with us. A lot of people in our audience are outraged over John McCain. They can't believe he's going to be the nominee. They want to go with you. They want to hear from you. Lay out your immigration views for them.
Well, first of all, you secure the border. Second of all, you have an employment verification system to identify who's here legally and who's not, and you sanction employers once that system is in place who hire people that are here illegally. But the key, and this is the big difference between Senator McCain and myself, is what do you do with the people who are here illegally or who come here illegally? My view is you invite them to go home. You do not give them a special pathway to permanent residency or citizenship. His view is everybody that's here illegally gets to stay for the rest of their life so long as they pay a $3,000 fine. I consider that to be out of the bounds of a nature of a land that has the rule of law.
When you say invite them to leave, what do you mean by that?
Well, I'm being gentle, but here, first of all, enforce the law. But number two, when you have an employment verification system, you'd say to people that are here illegally, get your card, we'll let you stay here for a temporary period of time until your child has finished school or you sold your home or whatever. We give you a temporary period of time where you're allowed to work here, but as soon as that time is up, the card will show an expiration date. After that time, you're not allowed to work here. And then you sanction employers that do hire people that are here illegally. Once that time period is passed and people can't get work, they will go home. People come to this country illegally to get work. And if work is cut off, you stop the flow of illegal immigration.
You heard Hillary last night. She makes it sound like the only alternative is to throw nets over people and drag them away.
Well, it's so silly, of course, because we're not going to go around and round up people that are here illegally. But if we say to people, look, we're going to let you gradually and humanely return to your home as soon as your work visa is up, that gives people time to go home, to make arrangements, and to ultimately return to their country of origin. And it also says we can protect our legal immigration system, welcoming people to get in line to get visas or green cards, or if they want to apply for citizenship. But they do that legally. And we have to be the ones that decide who comes to this country and who goes, and we do not say cross the border or overstay your visa and we'll let you stay for the rest of your life. That's where I disagree with Senator McCain.
Well, the one thing that we believe here, Governor Romney, is that you have to do something about the employers. We don't believe in mass deportations. We believe that the job market dries up, that people will have to go back to their home countries. And this has just been frustrating for us. There hasn't been a lot of prosecutions of employers. Matter of fact, we did a story a couple weeks ago about a fence company out here in California that the government at one time contracted with to build border fence. They were hiring illegals left and right over the years. Eventually they catch them, put them on trial, the guy gets no jail time. Don't you think we need jail time?
If you start fining people heavily, that's going to concentrate the mind right away. Right now, what the employers counter with is that there's no way for them to tell who's legal and who's illegal. You don't have any identification card that legal aliens are given to identify the fact that they are legal.
Do we have the technology to make it tamper-proof?
Well, you can make it tamper-proof. It's very simple. You could also have what Visa and MasterCard and American Express have, which is if you're thinking of hiring someone that shows you one of these cards, you simply key punch in the numbers of the card and the person's name, and it immediately identifies whether it's a fake card, whether it's being used by other people as well. And if it's authorized, you can hire them. If it's not, you can't. And people who do hire illegals would then be fined a lot of money. And on multiple hirings, you might do even more than that. But the truth is, once employers know that there are sanctions for hiring illegals, it will stop.
What about defense? What about
you talked about securing the border. Elaborate on that. Exactly how would you secure it?
Sure. You do want to have a fence, and you want to have enough Border Patrol agents agents to make sure that you can oversee those that are trying to get into the country. But you've got to do both. You've got to have the employment system and the fence both. I was talking to Border Patrol agents in San Diego, and the head of the Border Patrol Agents Union there was telling me that he said, look, we have 100 people who try and cross here a day, even though there's a double fence. About 70% get through. They come in groups. They run across the border. We can't stop them all. They climb the fence. They make ladders out of rebar and just jump the fences, and then they jump into the shopping mall. We can't find them. And he said, what you've got to do is turn off the employment magnet. You've got to have a way of identifying legal aliens and stopping the hiring of illegal aliens. And when you do that, the only people that will cross are the real bad guys, and we can catch them.
Why do we have so many businessmen and so many in the Republican Party claim that if we deported these people or they left, it would wreck the economy? We'd have a huge labor shortage.
Well, they just don't understand the fact that one, we have a 6.1% unemployment rate in California right now, so we got a lot of people of our own that are looking for work. And number two, you can adjust the legal immigration program to meet the needs of the employment base. We have visas that we give to people who we welcome into our country, and if we need more visas for a particular industry, we can put out more visas. But that allows us to control who's here. We want to have people that don't have criminal records. We want people who speak our language. We want people who agree that they're going to go home at the end of the period where their visa expires. In a nation of liberty, you require the rule of law to pertain, and you just can't have people coming across the border or overstaying their visas and expect the rule of law to exist.
Barack Obama dismissed the idea last night in the debate that illegal aliens depress wages and take jobs from Americans.
Well, that's kind of a silly thing to say. Of course, having an unlimited supply of workers who are not given the minimum wage, who don't have the benefits we have in this country, are going to depress wages and are going to take jobs away from American citizens. We had a factory in Massachusetts that was raided recently by ICE, and they found a number of illegal aliens working there. They took them out of their work and deported them. Within a week, all the jobs were filled by U.S. citizens who wanted that work. My son built a home, or had a home built for him in the San Diego area, and I went on the work site. There were a lot of homes, of course, being built all at the same time. It's one of these big developments there. And almost everybody I saw was Hispanic. Now, I presume they were mostly legal. I don't know. But I know there's good work being done by people who come here from across the border.
What about the anchor baby problem?
You know, that's a problem we can solve immediately by saying that we're not going to bring over the families of those who are related to a child that was born here of parents that were here illegally.
The chain migration problem.
We can stop the chain migration problem without going to court, without fighting the constitutional issues. We can just say, hey, look, if there's a child who by virtue of the Constitution is deemed to be a U.S. citizen that's born here of parents that came here illegally, we're not going to let their whole family come join them. And, of course, the child will go home and live with his parents or her parents. It's not going to stay in this country if parents are living somewhere else.
What about Bush's tax cuts? Would you keep them in place?
Absolutely. Senator McCain was wrong to vote against the Bush tax cuts. Those tax cuts helped build our economy at a time we were going into recession. I would also put in place tax cuts now. We need additional stimulus in our economy to keep us falling into recession, to stabilize our home market, and to make sure that our growth continues, because growth is so essential to providing good jobs to our citizens and to our kids. One of the things I do is to put in place a special savings plan for anybody earning under $200,000 a year. They would have no tax on interest, dividends, or capital gains. Let Americans save their money for whatever the heck they want without having to pay taxes on their savings. And also, by the way, let's